Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to make granny squares, just like these ones that are all over my cardigan. So you see you can make clothes out of them, and perhaps you could even just make a little pouch like this one, which I haven't finished off yet, and I'm wondering if I should add a video onto my channel telling you how to make a small pouch, line it and put a zip in it. So maybe that'll be my next video. If so, it'll appear on the end of this one. But in the meantime, let's get started step by step, granny square. So you just need to take your crochet hook and your yarn and make your little slip knot to start with, like you always do, and put your hook through and you're ready to go. And then it's simple as making a short chain. So you're just going to do a chain of 6 stitches. If you prefer a magic ring, then you can do that, but I'm going to use a chain in this case. And then you put your crochet hook through the first chain stitch, wrap the yarn round and pull it through. Now you're pulling it through that stitch and the original one. So you formed a nice ring, and that's what we're going to work from. So you can see I've got that tail there. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 chain stitches, and that's going to act as our first stitch. And now you're going to do 2 more stitches, and if you're in the UK, you're doing treble crochet stitches, and if you're in the US, you're doing double crochet stitches. And what that means is you wrap the yarn round through the hoop, yarn round back through, yarn round through 2 stitches and yarn round through the other 2, and that forms your stitch. Once you've got those stitches, we're going to do 1, 2, 3 chains that form the corner, and then we're going to go back to our treble or double crochets, depending what you call them. Okay, so you can see I've done 1, and then it's yarn round through the loop. I shouldn't call it the loop, I should call it the center. So let's go again. Yarn round the hook through the hoop in the center, yarn round and back through, yarn round and through 2 stitches, and yarn round and through the other 2 stitches. And then you're going to form your 3 chain crochet for the corner. And then we're back on doing our 3 stitches again. So you can see there's quite a pattern here. So I've sped it up while we just whip through those 3 stitches. And then we're going to do 3 chains, and that's going to be the 3rd corner. And then if we do 3 stitches, this is going to be our final side. And then all we'll have to do is that final corner. So you're going to do your 3 chains again. And then you've got to find the top chain of that starting chain, which formed your first stitch. Put the hook through, hook the yarn and pull it all the way back through as a slip stitch. So now you've got your first square. So if you're changing colour, cut off your yarn, feed it through the stitch, the loop you've got, and it's nice and secure. Now if you're not changing colour, you're just going to keep going. But assuming you're changing colour with me, it's time to find your next colour, and you're going to make a slip knot loop again, as you always do when you're starting your crochet. But this time put your crochet hook through one of the corners, and I recommend you select different corners as you work your way out. Then go through that slip knot you've done, pull it through, yarn over and pull it through, and it'll be secure. And then we're going to do what we did before, which is 3 chain stitches and then 2 treble or double crochets, depending whether you're UK or US. But it's exactly the same stitch as you were doing before. So because you've already done one set of 3 chains, you just need 2 stitches. You can see it's exactly the same as the other row. Then you're going to do 3 chains for the corner. Then you're going to do 3 stitches. I'm hoping you're starting to see that this is quite rhythmic. It's repetitive. It just keeps going in the same vein. So this time, once you've done all 3, we've got to get along to the other corner. So we're just going to do 1 chain stitch to take us across. And then into that far corner, we're going to do our 3 stitches again. So you can see I'm just working into the corners in the same way as we worked into the central loop right at the beginning. Once you've got all three, you're doing those 3 chains, and then you're doing another 3 stitches. That's one. Let's get the others done. And it's becoming routine. So again, you're going to have to do the same on the other half. So you're doing 1 chain and then another corner. And your corners are always the same. So you do your 3 stitches, your 3 chain, your 3 stitches. And then in between them, you've done 1 chain to get you along the side. Now I'll be showing you the next row because the next row is slightly different, and then every row after that is done in exactly the same way. So it's really important we just do the next row, and then obviously I'll talk to you at the end about weaving in all those ends, because you can see you're going to end up with a lot of them if you change colour on every row. Nothing says you have to. So when we get back to the beginning, same as before, through that top chain, bring the yarn through them both, and now we've got an end, and we just need to put it through the loop and secure it. Definitely a granny square appearing. So let's go with our 3rd row, and for us in this case it's our final row, but you can make these as big as you like. So I'm starting it in exactly the same way as I did the last row. So I'm just starting in a corner, doing my 3 stitches, doing my 3 chains, then doing 3 stitches. And then this time I can't just reach all the way across to the other corner, so I'm going to do 1 chain, and then I'm going to do 3 stitches in that middle hole that we've got along that edge. And then I'll do 1 chain, and then I'll go into the other corner and do that corner exactly the same way as I did the other corners, and then work my way round, repeating that on all 4 sides. So I hope you're finding this helpful and you're enjoying having a go at a granny square. They really are useful and they really are great fun. If you are liking it, please could you give it a thumbs up so it spreads to more people, because that's how it works. If you like it, it gets passed to more people so more people can learn their granny squares. There are other ways of doing granny squares, but this is the most common and I think in many ways the easiest to learn. It's the one you'll see a lot in patterns, so it's well worth getting your head round. So you can see I'm getting all the way around, and you'll not be surprised when I get to this end. I'm going to finish off in exactly the same way as I have on the other rows. So there'll be a chain and then into that top chain stitch and just a little slip stitch. And there you go. This is the size of granny square used on my cardigan, so for me that's a granny square complete. So what do we do with all those ends? Well, the easiest thing to do in my opinion is to work them in using a blunt needle. So some people call them a bodkin, it's up to you, but you just want to thread your yarn through it, and then you're going to put the needle through several stitches, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't matter, and just go through. And then you're going to turn and come back the other way, but you must go over 1 stitch first. So you go over 1 stitch and then just back through the remaining stitches so that it can't pull through. And that will just secure it and hold it in place. And then obviously you need to do that with all of them. And this is the drawback of granny squares. You can end up with an awful lot of ends to weave in. And there you go, a completed granny square. I hope you've enjoyed it, and let's see what's next.